Good morning. So this is NF1 teaching set number 2. So make sure you have that out and we'll go ahead and get started. So we are still working, NF just means that we're working with equivalent fractions. So our equivalent fraction work, we have a picture of our circle. It's cut in half. So figure F has 1/2 of its whole shaded. Decide whether each fraction is equal to 1/2. Select yes or no for each fraction. So this one should go pretty fast because you just have to think, okay, is the numerator half of the denominator? So is 2 half of 3? No. Is 8 half of 16? So if I said 8 plus 8 is 16, that would be a yes. And 2/4. So is half of 4 2? Or could I say 2 plus 2 equals 4? Yes. Okay, so we're going to mark those yes. So you have a no, yes, yes. That was easy because 1/2 is easy. So we're going to move on to the next one. Number 2 here. Number 2 is 3/5. 3/5 of the whole. So if we look down here, decide whether or not these are equal to 3/5 or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 3/5 off to the side over here next to each one of my fractions. So 3/5, 3/5, 3/5. Okay? So then what I want to do is I'm going to multiply the top. You can either have to multiply or divide the top and bottom by the same number. So if I was to say 3 times what is 36? And I would say 3 times 12 is 36. So what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So you're going to have 3 times 12 is 36. To make that correct, we have to do the same thing to the bottom. So 5 times 12 is 5 times 12, 60? Yes. If your answer is yes, then it's an equal fraction. 3/5 equals 36/60. Let's look at 3/5 equals 6/10. So how do I get 3 to a 6 by multiplying? I would say 3 times what is 6? And the answer is 3 times 2 is 6. So what I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So 5 times 2, if I could say, okay, is 5 times 2 10? If you can say yes, then your fraction is equivalent. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10. So that is correct. Okay, this one, I'm going to work. You could go either way. You could say 3 divided by what is 1, or you could work backwards this way. So you could say 1 times what is 3. So let's do a divided by. So 3 divided by 3 equals 1. What you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So 5 divided by 3 is 5 divided by 3, 3? No, you can't even divide 5 by 3. So that answer is no. Okay. Then we have number 3. I don't know if you have this, but I'll show you anyway. It's just extra practice here. So if you don't have this teaching set, you can just do it on another piece of paper or just watch and listen and do this as we go. So 3/4 is shaded. 3 out of 4 sections up here are shaded. So now we're looking, is 3/4 equal to these fractions? Are these equivalent fractions? Okay, so if I put 3/4 by next to each one of my fractions, go ahead and do that. Write 3/4 next to each of the fractions. Okay, this one you can kind of look at 6/8. If you wanted a picture, to help you, you could say, okay, how can I make this into 8 sections? Okay, we have our denominator is 8. How can I make this into 8 by cutting it horizontally? So I have 4. If I cut this in half, that would give me 8 sections now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then if I looked at the shaded parts with this line in between, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts are shaded. So that would be a yes. So 3, if we're doing our multiplication here, 3 times 2 is 6. And what you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So 4 times 2 is 8. That one is true. Okay, this way, can I do 3 divided by 3 is 1. Is 4 divided by 3, 3? No, you can't even divide 4 by 3. So that's a big no. Okay, so here's our 100 again. And remember that if you think about this as cents, 75 cents out of of a dollar, or 75 cents out of 100 cents, think about your quarters. So how many quarters is 75 cents? So 25 is 1 quarter. 25, 50, 75. That's 3. So it's 75. So I have 25, 50, 75, a dollar. That's how we get our dollar out of 4 quarters. So if I say 25, 50, 75, 3 quarters out of 4 quarters. So 3/4 does equal 75 100ths, because I could say 3 times 25 is 75, and 4 times 25 is 100. So that's a yes. And then the last one down here, figure A has 4/6 shaded. So I'm going to put my 4/6 next to each one of the fractions. So 4/6, 4/6, 4/6. So we're going to ask our question, 4 times what is 40? 4 times 10 is 40. So what I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So 6 times 10. So 4 times 10 is 40. Is 6 times 10 60? Yes. And then let's move to the next one. 4 times what is 12? 4, 8, 12. So that's 3. So times 3, 4, 8, 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 3, 3 is 6 times 3, 18. 6, 12, 18. Yes. So 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. So that is yes. You could also cut this. So this is cut up into sixths this way. If I wanted to make 18ths out of this, I could cut 6 times what is 18. 6 times 3. This is why this works, where you have to multiply the top and the bottom, because you're cutting it into thirds. So times 3, you're taking this 4/6, and then you're cutting all of the parts, the shaded and the whole. You're cutting it times 3 this way. So you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 18 that you cut it up into. So that's a yes. Okay, so 4 times, is there anything 4 times something to get 14? No. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So this is going to be a no. You cannot say 4 times anything is 14. All right, so now your job is to do student set number 2. Looks like this. And I did a little bit. I was working with Jackson this morning on it, so we did a little bit of the student set. So go ahead and that's what you're going to be doing. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.